This is going to be the first part of a watch parts blank instructional for those of you who've been waiting and asking me to please offer one. The first part will consist of the supplies you're going to need to get started. I know it's very overwhelming, but after a while it won't be for you. You just end up collecting over time and hoping you have the time to use everything. So we'll go over some supplies. Obviously you need watch parts. I get my watch parts from Green Stuff World. It's in, I believe, Australia. And it's a good company in the fast shipping. The only issue is some of these parts come ready to bend and some have little posts. So to remove the post, it's quite easy, but it's cumbersome work. And you probably, if you have long nails, won't have them after you're done. So I'm going to try and get one out of here to show you. Some of these that have long, thin posts, you could take a tweezer and break off, but you got to try and not break the cog. So, of course, I don't have anything to scan in on, but you could just pull it apart, and that came off great. Some of them you have to actually take and press on a hard surface to pop it out. I use this Jeweler's U-channel dapping tool, and I just take an edge, one of the edges, I'm not sure if you guys could see this, and I press down on each end, and the part just pops right out, and that's ready to bend. Other supplies you're going to need is, of course, the U-channel dapping tool. Don't buy the wood one, they're not as good. It comes with 5 of these little hammers. One will fit in each little U-channel. I use the biggest one and the smallest one, which I can't find, to bend. So you would take the little part, excuse my dogs, they bark at everything, and put it in this little U-channel, the smallest one, and then you'll take, let's just make believe this is the hammer of the smallest one, and then you're going to take this and you're going to bang, and it's going to form the curve that you need around the tube, like so. And of course I didn't use the right one, so it's not as flush, but when you use the smallest one in the smallest U-channel, it'll be flush when you glue it to the tube. Okay, other supplies you're going to need, of course, is a watch dial, which I have plenty in here collected. Whatever your client chooses, or if they say choose one for me, then you just choose one for them. But I usually have clients that tell me which ones they want. I also have a bunch of other little charms in here that I use. I'll show you how to bend the watch dial around the tube shortly. You're going to need glue. I use medium flex glue for all my watch parts. I had a jig made. This jig holds 4 at a time, and it's got 3 parts. The thick part of the junior cap, the center, and then obviously I need to show you how to cut the carbon fiber to get the smaller one. These scissors are amazing. They're a little curved. They're from Factory Team. I got them on Amazon. They're stainless steel and they're very sharp, so they cut through even the metal tube if you go too close. I made these yesterday in the shop, and I just rolled them in CA glue, and I let them hang and dry. And now I'm just trimming around the edge of the tube, because you don't want all this hanging off because you might end up putting a watch part too close to the edge. And then your turner or your customer who buys the blank from you, or you, if you decide to use it yourself, you're going to end up shaving off part of a wheel or a cog or a gear. So I should be doing this over a trash can, but I wanted to show you everything on camera. And I'm almost done here. Okay, so this is going to be the bottom or 10.5 millimeter of the Junior series. That goes on here, and this goes on here, and now you have, it's ready to slide. I usually use the middle one because sometimes parts fall off and they fall on the floor. Actually, I'm doing that backwards. I gotta turn it around because I like the cap to my left and the bottom to my right. So here you have your jig set up, and again, you could use 4 at a time. And you're gonna glue and you're gonna spin them when you're done gluing one side instead of having to put it on a towel. But now, I don't really honestly use the jig. I just use a towel, wait for it to dry, and I turn it. I have a bottle here of pre-bent parts. What else? You're gonna need tweezers. These pick up your parts. And I just take my parts and I spread them out on a towel, and I use whatever I see. And if I'm looking for something specific, I'll go into this. This is my goodie tin, and it has all little neat parts in there. Okay, so I used to use a syringe and inject the glue onto the tube, but I don't anymore. I just use the actual bottle. So what you're going to do is, I'm getting ahead of myself, but I want to show you to glue it on. See, and you got to be careful because I won't use a broken or smashed part. This one is cracked, so that's trash. If you want quality blanks, you have to use quality product. So I'm going to start with the bottom because I haven't put and that's a little bit too much glue for each part. You just want a little bit. And I'm going to just lay it on here, and it's going to stick to the carbon fiber just like so. I might get one of these little guys. And you don't want to put them in a row. You just want to place them the way you like. It's your talent. It's your artistic ability to make them so your client likes it. This is the bottom of a Junior. I'm getting ready to do the top with a Mickey face. That's Minnie. I gotta get Mickey. Well, actually, Mickey's right here. I glued him on. And that's a set for a client. And then a Majestic Squire with Minnie. So I have a lot of work to do today. And then I also finished a Marvin the Martian set for a client, and I'm working on the second dial for him. Okay, so you're gonna just continually glue the parts on. You don't want to go too far to the edge, like I said, because you're gonna have to trim the edges. So you want to leave just a little bit of border, and then we're gonna bend the face, which I'm gonna show you in the next video, and glue it onto here, because you don't want to put parts on your cap until the face is on, because you might think you have enough clearance and then you won't, and that's a waste of a blank and your time. So on the next video, I'm going to show this. So again, for supplies, you're going to need tweezers, flex scissors to trim your carbon fiber because they get very hard to trim. You're going to need some of these files. That's going to help with the little posts on the back of the face, which I'll show you when we go to bending. You're going to need watch parts. You're going to need watch dials, glue. I don't know if I mentioned that already. Tubes. And I think that's about it for supplies. Other than an arbor press, you're going to need when you can't form the dial around the tube. Some dials, like if you buy a watch and it's from China or overseas, they are so hard to bend. You have to use an arbor press. But some of them are just so easy you can use your hands. The Frank Mullers are easy to bend. Breitling. There's a bunch here that won't be difficult at all. I have a Mont Blanc. Maybe I'll show you that one. But that'll be in the next video. We'll go ahead and I'll teach you how to bend this around the tube and remove the posts and glue it on the carbon fiber if that's what you're going to use. I happen to be a fan of carbon fiber and metallic spray paint because it gives a good depth. When you pour the resin over this in your mold, it like comes to life. It's amazing. So that's all I have. If you have any questions, please PM me at Michelle L. Ferrara on Facebook or email me at mlfcustompens@gmail.com. Thanks, guys.